Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game.
Warriors fans should hope Stephen Curry doesn't enter the MVP race. If Stephen Curry ends up in the MVP conversation this season, it might actually mean something went wrong. The Golden State Warriors are off to a strong start, 4 wins, 1 loss, and they look locked in. The best part? They haven't had to lean too heavily on their superstar guard, and fans should hope it stays that way. Through the first 5 games, Curry is averaging 27 points per night while shooting an incredible 50.6% from the field and 42.3% from deep. He's still doing all the Steph things, ridiculous step-backs, logo threes, impossible finishes, but the key difference this year is he's not doing it alone. Since opening night against the Lakers, Curry hasn't needed to throw on the Superman cape. Whether it's thanks to strong outings from Jimmy Butler, who's helped carry the load, or the younger guys stepping up with confidence, Curry finally has some backup, something he sorely lacked in recent years when the Warriors' success rested almost entirely on his shoulders. And that's exactly how it should be. The Warriors don't need Stephen Curry to play superhero basketball every night this season. Don't get it twisted, Curry's still spectacular. His 42-point outburst in an overtime thriller against the Nuggets reminded everyone that he's still that guy. But what's even more telling are the games where he doesn't have to dominate, and Golden State still wins comfortably. Take Monday night against the Grizzlies. Curry had just 16 points in 30 minutes, yet the Warriors cruised to a 131-118 victory. The next night versus the Clippers, he scored 19 in 26 minutes. Another easy win, 98-79. That's the kind of balance this team has been missing. Against Memphis, the young guns, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and Moses Moody, each dropped 20-plus points, taking real pressure off Curry and the veterans. This formula, where the younger core can occasionally shoulder the scoring load, is far more sustainable than one where Curry needs to average 30 just to keep the team afloat. Sure, it might hurt his regular season MVP chances, but at this point in his career, Curry would gladly trade another MVP trophy for another championship ring, and maybe a Finals MVP to go with it. The Warriors seem to be finding a healthy, sustainable rhythm, one where Curry doesn't have to be the hero every single night. Superman Curry can finally take a breather while Batman, Butler, Nightwing, Podziemski, and Red Hood Kuminga take over for a bit. And in the long run, that's the best thing that could happen to Golden State. The Warriors' youth movement is changing everything. What's happening in Golden State right now feels like more than just a hot start. It feels like the beginning of a transformation. The trio of Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and Moses Moody isn't just filling minutes, they're defining games. Kuminga has been especially impressive, averaging around 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Podziemski's poise and court vision have given the Warriors a reliable secondary playmaker, while Moody's defensive energy and outside shooting have become crucial in second-unit stretches. For years, Golden State's success lived and died by Stephen Curry's brilliance. But this season, the script is shifting, and that's exactly what the organization has been hoping for. Veteran leadership is still at the heart of it. Curry has openly praised his younger teammates, emphasizing that they've earned his trust through effort and consistency. The message is clear, this is no longer a one-man show. The team is finding balance between its season champions and its rising stars, a blend of experience and youth that could extend the Warriors' window of contention. The ripple effects. This evolution has multiple layers of impact. Team sustainability. With Curry no longer needing to shoulder 40-minute, 35-point nights, the Warriors are protecting their most valuable asset, his health. That alone could make the difference between an early playoff exit and another deep postseason run. Locker room culture. Younger players gaining real responsibility creates ownership. It keeps the veterans engaged and the roster motivated. Golden State is slowly shifting from Curry's team to everyone's team. League perception. Around the NBA, teams are taking notice. The Warriors are no longer just the Curry show. They've become a squad that can beat you in multiple ways, whether it's through the young core's athleticism or the veterans' experience. The challenges ahead. Of course, it's not a guaranteed success story. Youth brings inconsistency. There will be nights when mistakes pile up or when the offense stalls without Curry's magic. And as head coach Steve Kerr often reminds, development isn't linear. Still, the payoff is worth the growing pains. Building a team that can win even when Curry isn't superhuman is exactly what will keep Golden State relevant beyond the current era. Looking forward. As the season unfolds, the key questions remain. Can the Warriors maintain this balance deep into the season? Will Kuminga, Podziemski, and Moody continue to deliver when the intensity ramps up? And most importantly, can Curry stay fresh enough to unleash his full power when it matters most, in May and June? If they can keep this formula intact, veterans leading, youth thriving, and Curry picking his moments, the Warriors might just be building something even greater than another title run. They're building longevity. For now, Warriors fans should celebrate what they're seeing, a new era quietly taking shape, one where Stephen Curry doesn't have to save the day every night, because the next generation is finally ready to share the load. The Warriors might have to sacrifice a fan-favorite veteran in their next big move. Is it time for the Golden State Warriors to make a bold decision? Despite an impressive 4-1 start to the season, not everyone on the roster is thriving. Buddy Hield, once hailed as a postseason hero and a beloved figure among fans, has struggled to regain the spark that defined his breakout playoff run last year. Now, with his $9.2 million expiring contract hanging over the season, Hield is quickly emerging as a potential trade piece, one the Warriors might have to move if they're serious about strengthening their title hopes before the deadline. Buddy Hield could be the odd man out. Hield played less than 11 minutes in Tuesday's 98-79 win over the Los Angeles Clippers and is averaging just 17.1 minutes per game so far, a noticeable drop from the 22.7 he logged during last year's regular season and the 27.3 he averaged in the playoffs. For a 32-year-old who thrives on rhythm and shooting confidence, limited minutes can be brutal. His slow start is starting to feel less like a slump and more like a shift, not necessarily in his ability, but in his role. Golden State has found new ways to win without relying on Hield's perimeter firepower. Steve Kerr has experimented with taller lineups, while young guards like Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and rookie Will Richard have brought fresh energy and versatility to the rotation. And there's more change on the horizon. DeAnthony Melton is set to return soon from a knee injury, and Seth Curry could also be back in the mix within the next few weeks. When that happens, minutes will become even scarcer. The harsh reality. Put simply, Hield's role is shrinking, and his contract makes him one of the few logical trade assets the Warriors have left. If Jonathan Kuminga continues his breakout and becomes untouchable in trade talks, and if Moses Moody keeps proving his value on both ends, Hield becomes the most expendable veteran on the roster who still holds enough salary weight to make a deal work. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green are obviously off-limits. The Warriors already moved on from longtime contributors like Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevin Looney over the past 18 months, showing they're not afraid to make tough, emotional calls when necessary. That leaves Hield in an awkward spot, earning more than $3 million, but not firmly part of the 8- or 9-man core rotation. If Golden State believes it can use his contract, potentially packaged with draft capital, to acquire a player who better fits the current direction, it might be a move worth making. More than numbers. It's worth noting that Buddy Hield's impact isn't limited to the court. He's been a stabilizing locker room presence and maintains a strong relationship with Jimmy Butler, helping keep team chemistry intact through the early part of the season. His attitude and leadership have never been in question. But this is the NBA, a business built on constant recalibration. The Warriors' front office has shown time and again that it's willing to make difficult choices in pursuit of another championship. If trading Hield is the price for that final missing piece, Golden State may have no choice but to say goodbye to another fan favorite, not out of failure, but out of necessity. A difficult decision looms for the Warriors. As the situation surrounding Buddy Hield continues to evolve, the Golden State Warriors find themselves facing a difficult question. Is it time to let go of another beloved veteran in order to move forward? When Hield arrived in Golden State through a complex off-season deal, the plan was clear: bolster the team's perimeter shooting and add veteran scoring depth to complement Stephen Curry. On paper, it was a perfect fit. But reality has been far less kind. His minutes have steadily declined, his shooting rhythm hasn't returned, and the Warriors' new offensive system has begun to outgrow his role. Changing roles, changing priorities. Hield's struggles have come at a time when the team's younger players are thriving. Jonathan Kuminga is emerging as a legitimate two-way threat. Brandon Podziemski continues to impress with his versatility and poise. Moses Moody is shooting the ball with confidence and defending at a higher level. Even rookie guard Will Richard has flashed enough potential to earn meaningful minutes. That depth, something the Warriors have lacked in recent years, has come at a cost. With DeAnthony Melton expected to return soon from a knee injury, and Seth Curry also working his way back into form, there simply may not be enough minutes left for Hield to play a meaningful role. What once looked like a key mid-season addition now feels like a luxury the Warriors can no longer afford. The trade equation. From a roster-building perspective, Hield's contract situation is significant. His $9.2 million expiring deal gives Golden State a rare piece of flexibility, a movable salary slot that could help facilitate a mid-season trade for a player who better fits the team's needs. If Kuminga continues to establish himself as untouchable in trade discussions and Moody keeps proving his value, Hield may become the only veteran asset who could realistically be moved without disrupting the team's chemistry or salary structure. A potential deal involving Hield could serve multiple purposes: clearing space, acquiring a player who complements Curry and Butler's leadership, and reinforcing the team's push for another championship run. The ripple effects. A trade, however, would extend beyond the court. Hield has been a respected presence in the locker room, upbeat, supportive, and well-liked by teammates, especially by Jimmy Butler, with whom he shares a strong bond. Losing that kind of personality can affect team morale, even if the move makes sense on paper. Yet the Warriors' recent history shows a willingness to make tough, emotional decisions when necessary. The departures of Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevin Looney in the past 18 months proved that sentimentality no longer outweighs competitiveness. This organization has entered a new phase, one where calculated risk replaces nostalgia. Looking ahead. If Golden State does decide to move Hield, it could reshape how the team approaches the rest of the season. His departure would open the door for more minutes for the younger players and possibly bring in a new contributor to help balance the rotation. But it would also serve as a clear message: the Warriors are fully committed to evolution. They're no longer a team clinging to their dynastic past. They're actively building their future around sustainability, balance, and smart roster management. In the end, moving Buddy Hield wouldn't be about giving up on him. It would be about ensuring the Warriors don't give up on their chance to win another title. The Warriors' unlikely hero who got Stephen Curry out of his seat against the Grizzlies. It was one of those moments that remind you why sports are special. Monday night's matchup between the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies was all but decided. The scoreboard had already told the story. Yet somehow, in the final minute, the entire arena came alive again, thanks to an unexpected spark from one of the Warriors' most unlikely players. With about 60 seconds left on the clock, Warriors reserve Pat Spencer checked into the game. His mission? Face off against his brother, Cameron Spencer, on the opposite side in a rare NBA sibling showdown. What happened next was pure joy. From the bench, Stephen Curry couldn't contain himself. He jumped up, towel in hand, moving closer to the court like a proud teammate watching something magical unfold. His reaction alone was worth the highlight reel. A heartfelt moment between brothers. As Pat dribbled up the court, a grin spread across his face. On the other end, Cameron was smiling too. Everyone in the building knew what was happening. Even Jimmy Butler, visible in the background, was laughing and cheering along. Both benches were standing, shouting encouragement as the brothers went head-to-head. Pat launched a wild shot just before the buzzer. It rimmed in and out, but that didn't matter. The crowd erupted anyway. For a brief, beautiful moment, the score didn't matter. It was just two brothers, a basketball, and pure love for the game. A reminder of what keeps the Warriors going. Spencer hasn't seen much court time this season. The 29-year-old guard has appeared in only 2 of the Warriors' first 4 games, averaging just 6 minutes after signing a 2-way deal and returning to the franchise during media day. And with the arrival of rookie Will Richard, a strong, promising talent out of Florida, Spencer's minutes might get even scarcer. Chances are, we'll only see him again in garbage time, or when there's another family reunion happening on the hardwood. Still, that 1 minute meant something. It brought out a genuine reaction from Curry, a 37-year-old legend who's already cemented his legacy as one of the greatest players and athletes of all time. Moments like this remind everyone, including Steph himself, why he still loves the game so deeply. The Warriors may be a veteran squad, but it's these flashes of fun and human connection that keep them grounded through the grind of a long season. So far, the chemistry looks great, and if they can stay healthy and keep that spirit alive, there's no reason they can't make another strong playoff push this year. The Warriors' unlikely hero who got Stephen Curry out of his seat against the Grizzlies. It was one of those moments that remind you why sports matter. Monday night's game between the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies was already decided, the result beyond doubt, but in the final minute, something unexpected brought the entire arena back to life. With about 60 seconds left, Warriors reserve Pat Spencer checked into the game. His mission was simple yet special: face his brother, Cameron Spencer, playing for the Grizzlies. What followed was pure joy. From the bench, Stephen Curry couldn't help himself. He leapt to his feet, towel waving, eyes locked on the court like a proud teammate watching something magical unfold. His excitement said everything. A moment only sports can deliver. As Pat dribbled past half-court, a smile spread across his face. Cam grinned right back. Everyone in the arena knew what was happening. Even players from both benches were standing, cheering for the rare sibling showdown. Pat launched a wild jumper at the buzzer. It rattled in and out, but nobody cared. The crowd erupted anyway. For a brief, beautiful moment, it wasn't about the score, it was about family, connection, and the love of the game. The story behind Pat Spencer. That brief highlight was more than just a feel-good moment, it represented years of perseverance. Before basketball, Pat Spencer was actually a lacrosse star in college, setting records and earning national recognition. Only later did he make the bold decision to switch sports and chase his basketball dream. After going undrafted, he fought his way through the G League, signed a two-way deal with Golden State, and made the most of every opportunity. In early 2025, his contract was converted to a standard NBA deal, a sign that the organization sees real value in him, not just as a player, but as a competitor and teammate. At 29, Pat's role may still be limited, especially with the arrival of promising rookie Will Richard. But for him, every second on the floor means something. Facing his brother in an NBA game, with Curry cheering from the sideline, was the kind of full-circle moment that proves how persistence pays off. The ripple effect in the locker room. For the Warriors, that minute against Memphis was more than just a feel-good story, it showed the heart of this veteran team. Seeing Curry, a 37-year-old legend with 4 championship rings, light up over a moment like that speaks volumes. It reminded everyone why he still plays. After everything he's accomplished, Curry could easily walk away tomorrow and still be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play. But moments like this, spontaneous, joyful, human, are what keep him and his team connected to the game. The Warriors' chemistry this season has been noticeably strong. There's a sense of ease and camaraderie that can make a long, grueling year feel lighter. These small emotional sparks, a brotherly duel, a shared laugh, a bench erupting with joy, are what keep a team together through ups and downs. What comes next? As Golden State pushes through the season, their blend of experience, youth, and genuine connection could become one of their biggest strengths. Spencer may not play big minutes, but his story embodies something deeper, the idea that everyone in the locker room matters, from the superstars to the role players. Moments like Pat and Cam Spencer's one-on-one remind fans, teammates, and even the greats like Curry that basketball at its core is still about passion, family, and joy. And sometimes it's those small, unforgettable flashes, not the final score, that tell the biggest story.